Have you been finding it extremely difficult to place your Honda Goldwing on the center stand? Or maybe you pull a trailer and find it virtually impossible to place the Honda Goldwing on the center stand. Or maybe you find it extremely difficult taking the Honda Goldwing off of the center stand, especially when you are pulling a trailer. If this applies to you, then look no further, because I have the perfect solution, and it's called the ride-off center stand. The ride-off center stand is a product that I've been using for about 5 years now. In this video, I'm going to be installing the ride-off center stand, showing you how to put it on the Honda Goldwing. I will be going over with you some of the advantages and disadvantages of having the ride-off center stand on the Honda Goldwing. So before we get started, my disclaimer is that this is not a paid video. No one is sponsoring this video. I paid for the ride-off center stand out of my own pocket. I will include a link in the description of the video of where you guys could pick up one of the ride-off center stands that I'm holding. This video is not sponsored. All of the accessories that I put on my Honda Goldwing is paid for out of my pocket. No one is sending me free products to review, so I can give you my honest opinion on the products that I installed on my Honda Goldwing because I paid for them out of my pocket. Now, the ride-off center stand for the Honda Goldwing I've been using for about 5 years on my 2016 Honda Goldwing. I want to give you guys a look at the original OEM center stand that comes on the Honda Goldwing. Now, when you place the center stands right next to each other, the first thing that you may notice is that the OEM center stand is a lot taller than the ride-off center stand. So as a result of having the taller center stand that came on the Honda Goldwing, when you place the Honda Goldwing on the center stand, it will allow you to raise the rear wheel completely off the ground, and this makes it easier to service the rear of the Honda Goldwing. Or when you're cleaning the Honda Goldwing, it allows you to rotate the wheel while the Honda Goldwing is sitting on the center stand. You can just rotate the wheel and you can easily clean the rear wheel when you're using the OEM center stand. The problem is that it just becomes extremely difficult to place the Honda Goldwing on the center stand or take the Honda Goldwing off the center stand, especially when you are hauling a trailer. Looking at the ride-off center stand, the ride-off center stand is a lot shorter than the OEM center stand. So this is going to allow you to put the Honda Goldwing on the center stand without exerting any effort. I mean, it's pretty much effortless because the center stand is shorter. The disadvantage of having the ride-off center stand is that when you place the Honda Goldwing on the center stand, it's not going to raise the rear wheel completely off the ground. So if you need to service the rear wheel, or if you're cleaning the rear wheel, you're going to have to keep moving the Honda Goldwing forward just to clean the rear wheel. But it's going to be very easy and requires very little effort to put the Honda Goldwing on the center stand. So in my opinion, which one is better? A taller OEM center stand that raises the rear wheel, that makes it easier for cleaning but makes it difficult to put it on the center stand, or the ride-off center stand, which is shorter, that does not raise the rear wheel off the ground, not allowing the rider to just rotate the rear wheel in one place for servicing or cleaning. So which one is better? In my personal opinion, the ride-off center stand is better. And this is just my personal opinion. Again, no one is paying me to do this video. No one is sending me the center stand for a review. I paid for this out of my pocket, and I've been using the ride off center stand on my 2016 Honda Goldwing for about 5 years. If you guys didn't see that video, you can click on the link and it will show you the video of me installing the ride off center stand on my 2016 Honda Goldwing. But in my personal opinion, I believe that every Goldwing owner should have a ride off center stand on their Honda Goldwing. When you install the ride off center stand on the Honda Goldwing, it takes almost no effort to place the Honda Goldwing on the center stand in comparison to struggling to put it on the center stand with the center stand that came on the Honda Goldwing, the OEM factory center stand. The ride off center stand is a lot easier to place the Honda Goldwing on the center stand. I've been using this product for about 5 years. I have not had any issues with it other than the foot pad kind of wearing out. I'm not sure if they sell a replacement pad if you wear the pad out. The original center stand does not even have a pad on it. So it's just metal, all metal. With the ride off center stand, they did give you a rubber foot pad. Now, I wore my foot pad out on my 2016. So again, I never tried to replace the foot pad, but I'm probably sure that if I contact the manufacturer that I can get another foot pad, but that's just optional. That is the only problem that I've ever had, and it's really not a problem. It's more of a gripe, is that the foot pad just didn't wear. It didn't last a long time, but it doesn't change how to put the Goldwing on the center stand. It didn't make it any less effortless. But that was the only issue that I had with the ride off center stand, is just the rubber foot pad wore out. But under the foot pad is metal, so you can replace it, or you can just take it off and just use the metal. A lot of you out there may not have the strength, you may not have the muscle mass. A lot of the Goldwings that are out on the road are being ridden by an older generation, and you may not have the muscle mass or the strength. Some of you may have health issues, and you just don't have the power to put that Honda Goldwing on the center stand. This ride off center stand makes it extremely easy. So I recommend that every Goldwing owner install the ride off center stand on their Honda Goldwing. And one of the things I really like about this product is that if you have a passenger on your Honda Goldwing, or maybe you have the trailer connected to your Honda Goldwing, you can just pull off. You don't have to take the bike off the center stand and then ride off. You can just ride off in the sunset with the passenger on the back and the trailer coming straight off the center stand. And that's one of the things I really like about this product. As with the OEM center stand, if you have your trailer hooked up, or if you have your passenger on the Goldwing, you're gonna have to get it off of the center stand because the rear wheel is free spinning. So you got to get it off of the center stand before you can ride off. With the ride off center stand, even though you have a passenger, even though you have the trailer connected, you can just ride off. So if you're interested and wanting to know how to install the ride off center stand on your Honda Goldwing, stay tuned to this video, and I'm gonna install this on my 2021 Honda Goldwing. So let's get started. Now that I have the Honda Goldwing secured to my Pitbull lift, I can now access the underneath center stand. If you do not have a motorcycle lift, just place the Honda Goldwing on the left side kickstand. To remove the center stand, we're going to have to take out the center stand axle pin, in order to slide that axle pin out, we're going to have to take off the heat shield on the left side of the Honda Goldwing. So we're going to remove the heat shield, and then I'm going to walk you through how to remove this center stand. So the first thing that I will do is take off this cover so we can unbolt the heat shield. So looking at the tip over cover on the left side, I'm going to remove this pin, and I just want to slide out that pin underneath. Just a little plastic pin. And the cover comes right off. So there's the cover. There's the pin that goes inside of the cover. And I'm gonna have to put this back in when we're finished. So you have two bolts that I need to remove. I'm gonna remove them with a 5mm T-handle Allen. I'm gonna take those bolts out. There's one. There's two. So now I have the two bolts out. I'm going to slide the heat shield forward. So I'm just going to reach in and kind of slide forward. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of push down on this kickstand, on the center stand, and now I'm going to wiggle this heat shield out. Just kind of. So as I hold down the center stand, I'm just going to push forward. So now I have the heat shield loose. Tabs look good. Just set that to the side. So now I have the heat shield removed off the left side of the exhaust. We got to access the axle bolt that's going through the center stand. I'm going to just remove these hoses out of the way. Just kind of unsnap these hoses. You got 1, 2, 3. You got 4 hoses. But we're gonna have to take out this little holder that holds the hoses. So to take that bolt out, I'm using a 10mm. And I remove the holder that holds those hoses. And now I should be able to access the center stand axle. So we need to go to the other side to access the axle pin. So in order to remove the center stand, we're gonna have to take off this spring, and we're gonna have to take out that pin that holds the center pin axle. But before we take off the spring, we need to keep a lot of tension on the spring, because once you take the spring off, the spring is going to collapse, and it's going to be harder to put the spring back on the new center stand with all of the tension that's on the spring. So to keep the spring from collapsing, I'm going to just be taking some pennies and putting them in between the spring coils. Now you can use washers, a flat washer, you can use coins, or anything that you have at your disposal to keep the spring from totally collapsing. You want to keep the spring expanded as much as possible. It'll make it easier to put on the new center stand once we get it installed. I got a bunch of pennies. I'm just going to try to place them in between the coils. I just want to keep that spring from collapsing. Like I said, you can use washers or anything that you have at your disposal to keep that spring from collapsing. Just want to put each penny in one by one. You could take a screwdriver or some type of hook tool to unhook it off of this catch. Take your time. Don't get into a hurry. You want to make sure those pennies stay in the spring to keep the spring from collapsing. So I'm just going to sit this to the side, and now we can access the axle that holds the center stand. So next I'm going to take my needle nose pliers just get that pin out. And now I can reach in and pull that pin out. Have the pin out. Grab the washer. Okay, so now I can just push the axle through. I'm gonna go to the other side and we can pull the axle pin out. So looking at the Honda Goldwing on the left side, now I can pull out this axle pin. So now it should just come right out. There's the axle pin. I can remove the OEM center stand. Take your time. There it is. So now I have the OEM center stand out, and this is the ride-off center stand. So it looks like the ride-off center stand has its own bushing, so there's nothing to take out from the old center stand to put on the new center stand. So now we can just go ahead and install the ride-off center stand. Just sit it up there. And now I can take the axle pin. Just want to line up the holes and slide the axle pin through. Until it comes out the other side. I'm just going to tap it a little bit with this dead blow hammer just to make it go through the other side. So now on the right side of the Honda Goldwing, need to put back the washer. And we're going to place back the pin through the axle. Just going to tap it through.
kind of rotate it around. And now I can bend the pin back around the axle. And this is going to be the toughest part of the installation, is getting that spring back on here, because there's a lot of tension on the spring. So we got to get it to hook around, because once you go to pulling on it, the pennies will try to fall out. So to keep the pennies from falling out, I'm just going to wrap some tape around it just to keep the pennies in place. This will keep the pennies from shooting out, because once you spread the spring and take the tension off of the spring, the pennies are going to try to fall out. I'm holding up the center stand with a basic jack stand. I have the vice grips clamped onto the spring, and I'm going to try to pull tension and hopefully get it around the spring catch. Got to line up that rubber slide inside of the slot. Now I can put back the two 5mm bolts through the exhaust shield. And now I can replace the tip over cover. Just going to push this pin back underneath. Okay, now that I have the ride-off center stand installed on my 21 Honda Goldwing Tour, I just want to talk to you about the installation. The hardest part about the installation is the spring. Getting that spring back on once you get the ride-off center stand installed on the bike, to me, is the toughest part. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a difficulty level of about a 5, just because of the spring. If you have a spring tool that will aid in installing the spring, it probably would be a lot easier. But I used the old penny and tape technique. I didn't use any special tools, just some muscle. So with that being said, I'm going to give it a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 on the difficulty level of installing the ride-off center stand. So I'm going to take the Honda Goldwing out, and I'm going to take it through some of the paces and just demonstrate to you how the ride-off center stand actually works. So if you guys have any questions or any comments about this video, feel free to put it down in the comment section below. I will include a link in the description where you guys can pick up the ride-off center stand, and I will include a link where you can watch the installation of the ride-off center stand on my 2016 Honda Goldwing. If you like this video, be sure to click the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is your boy Chris out in the Caliente garage, and I'm showing you how to install a ride-off center stand on a 2018 plus Honda Goldwing.